Dying on Earth, we all know it's going to happen sooner or later. But what would dying be like on other planets in our solar system and beyond? Let's take a look at what dying on every planet in the universe would be like. Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun and is very hot during the day, with temperatures reaching 427 degrees Celsius. If you were to die on Mercury, your body would quickly cook inside and out. The air pressure on Mercury is also very low, so your body would also start to deflate like a balloon. There is no oxygen on Mercury, so you wouldn't be able to breathe if you were alive long enough to be concerned about it. There are no trees to hang yourself from either. So if you wanted to commit suicide on Mercury, it would have to be done by eating a bullet while wearing a spacesuit. Venus. Venus is often referred to as Earth's evil twin because it is very similar in size and composition. However, there are some key differences. The most notable is that Venus is extremely hot, with temperatures reaching 370 degrees Celsius. If you were to die on Venus, your body would be cooked alive. The atmospheric pressure on Venus is also extremely high, about 92 times that of Earth. This would make breathing very difficult and could cause your lungs to explode. There's also no oxygen on Venus, so you would suffocate if you were alive long enough to be concerned about it. And just like Mercury, there are no trees on Venus, so you couldn't hang yourself. You'd have to eat lead paint chips. Mars. Mars is often referred to as the red planet because of its reddish appearance. This is due to the high levels of iron oxide on the planet's surface. Mars has an atmosphere, but it is very thin, which means that it offers little protection from the sun's radiation. This makes it difficult for humans to survive on Mars without the proper protection. If you were to die on Mars, your body would quickly be dehydrated by the sun's radiation. The temperature on Mars ranges from an average high of minus 63 degrees Celsius to an average low of minus 123 degrees Celsius. It is also very cold, so your body would freeze solid in a matter of hours. There are no trees on Mars, so hanging would not be an option. If you wanted to commit suicide on Mars, you would have to bring a gun with you and shoot yourself in the head. Jupiter. Jupiter is a gas giant, so you couldn't really walk on its surface. You would just sink into its colossal depths, never to be seen again. Also, its atmosphere contains high levels of hydrogen and helium, which are both flammable. If you were to die on Jupiter, your body would be burned alive in a matter of seconds. There are no trees on Jupiter, so hanging would not be an option. If you wanted to commit suicide on Jupiter, you would have to bring a flamethrower with you and burn yourself alive. Saturn. Saturn is another gas giant with an atmosphere similar to that of Jupiter. Its atmosphere contains high levels of hydrogen and helium, which are both flammable. If you were to die on Saturn, your body would be burned alive in a matter of seconds. Saturn has no solid surface, so you couldn't hang yourself. The only way to commit suicide on Saturn would be to bring a flamethrower and burn yourself alive. Neptune. Neptune is an ice giant with an atmosphere similar to that of Earth. However, the pressure on Neptune is thousands of times greater than that of Earth. If you were to die on Neptune, your body would be crushed by the pressure. The temperature on Neptune ranges from an average high of minus 218 degrees Celsius to an average low of minus 253 degrees Celsius. So your body would also freeze solid in a matter of minutes. There are no trees on Neptune, so hanging would not be an option. If you wanted to commit suicide on Neptune, you would have to bring a gun with you and shoot yourself in the head. Pluto. Pluto is a dwarf planet located in the Kuiper Belt, a region of space beyond Neptune. Pluto has an atmosphere similar to that of Earth, but it is much thinner. Pluto's atmosphere is mostly made up of nitrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide. The temperature on Pluto ranges from an average high of minus 229 degrees Celsius to an average low of minus 233 degrees Celsius. If you were to die on Pluto, Your body would freeze solid in a matter of minutes. There are no trees on Pluto, so hanging would not be an option. If you wanted to commit suicide on Pluto, you would have to bring a gun with you and shoot yourself in the head. In our solar system, there are no planets where you could die in a way that we would consider normal. The closest thing would be Mars, where you could freeze to death or be dehydrated by the sun's radiation. All the other planets are either too hot or too cold for the human body to survive for any length of time. And there are no trees on any of these planets, so hanging would not be an option. The only way to commit suicide on any of these planets would be to bring a gun with you and shoot yourself in the head. Exoplanets. What about dying on an exoplanet? An exoplanet is simply a planet that orbits a star outside of our solar system. And there are billions of exoplanets out there, each potentially habitable. In theory, you could die on an exoplanet in many different ways. If the planet has an atmosphere similar to Earth's, you could die from a heart attack or stroke. If the planet is hot, you could die from heat stroke. Or if the planet is cold, you could die from hypothermia. However, in reality, it is very unlikely that you would be able to survive on an exoplanet long enough to die in the first place. Most exoplanets are tidally locked to their stars, which means that one side of the planet always faces the star and the other side always faces away. The side that faces the star is incredibly hot, while the side that faces away is incredibly cold. The only way for a planet to be habitable is if it has an atmosphere that can circulate heat around the globe. But even then, the temperature on the planet would still be extreme. Inhospitable to humans. Most exoplanets are also many light years away from their stars, which means that they receive very little sunlight. Without sunlight, it would be impossible for humans to survive. Even if you were somehow able to survive on an exoplanet, it is highly unlikely that you would find anything to hang yourself from. Most exoplanets are rocky planets like Earth, and even if you found a tree, it would likely be poisonous. If you ate part of the tree, you would die a horrible and painfully slow death, the heat death of the universe. Assuming that the heat death of the universe happens, you might think that you could die from heat stroke, but even this seems unlikely. The heat death of the universe is when all the stars in the universe go out, and all that is left is a cold, dark void. If you were alive at this point, you would simply drift off into the darkness, never to be seen again. So, where can you die? The only places that you can really die are the planets in our solar system and maybe some exoplanets. Dying on any of the gas giants or ice giants would result in your body being burned or frozen instantly. Dying on Mercury or Venus would result in your body being cooked or crushed. Only on Mars could you hope to die a relatively normal death, but you would need to bring a gun with you. As far as we know, there's no such thing as a painless death. Even if you were to die of natural causes, your body would still be in immense pain as it slowly shut down. The only truly painless way to die is to never have been born in the first place. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe. If you want to learn more about space, be sure to check out my other videos. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.